There you go. Idiot. The first thing I want to do before I install it is I want to fit the comip module. So the next video we will do that. I really need to get a tripod for these videos. That's that little device there. That plugs on board. I'm not sure exactly what port on the panel that connects into just yet. It's all brand new, just bought it. Not like the CCTV, well I've been into that for years. It's been a couple of years I've been into alarms. I had my other one for a year or two, but it was never installed because I was moving house. That's the device there. That's the comip. That's the add-on that lets this panel connect to your internal network and the internet. A little bit of a bent pin there. That's certainly not for me because I haven't even plugged this in yet. That's brand new. Come on, focus. See that? Not that it'll cause a problem, they're quite sturdy. But of course it shouldn't be bent like that. See, manufactured by Texecom. Be interesting to, in fact we'll have a quick look where that actually plugs in. From there to there. Expansion. Let's have a little look. See if it actually tells us. Because some of their manuals, for security reasons, they don't supply with the panel. So a look at what it can do. How it connects, I should say. It's much easier if I just show you this. That goes on there to one of them communication panels. I thought it was going to actually go onto one of them, but it's not. It's only saying 1, 2, 3. Well, in the next video I will connect that. And find a suitable location. So if that goes into COM1, I wonder where they're suggesting I fit that. But anyway, make sure you come back for the next video, because the first thing I'm going to do is get this thing talking to my internal network and the internet. So I want to make sure I fully get that working before I start installing things. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little introduction to the panel, to the texecom panel, and be sure to join me again very soon for more videos and the install of this panel. Thank you, and bye for now. Right, this next video is this is just going to be on this module from Texecom. This is the IP, the Premier Elite comip module. This lets your panel connect to your internal network, and also allows the unit to connect to the internet. So you can remote access your panel. You can also monitor your panel. So when you unbox it, you're going to find the Elite comip. You're going to find 4 feet. Well, there's sticky back on the back. And the COM IP is going to sit on these feet. The first thing you want to do, I'm going to have to put the camera down, but you know, this part isn't tricky. Take the module and the supplied feet. Remember, sticky side down, so you want the sticky side on the bottom. And you just go in like so. No, I'm not going to unstick mine at the minute because I haven't decided where in the panel I'm going to mount it just yet. But that's the first thing. You take that and you put your 4 little legs on, little suckers, just like that. Also in the box comes the connection lead to connect the comip module to your alarm control panel. One of them is going to connect to that. And don't worry about it, you can't get this the wrong way around, for the simple reason. You see on that pin there how there's a gap between them two, a big gap. Well, if you look on the back of your cable, it's the same. I'll try and show you that a bit better. See there? 1, 2, 3 gap, and another one. Are they both the same colours? Right on there. So basically, you're going to be using the one with the red wire. Focus, come on Panasonic camera. That is going to go in there like so. So you connect that. Remember that pin was bent. No, I did not bend that because I never plugged anything onto it. Oh, shouldn't be bent. See how easy that was to straighten that back up? Right. So you want that one there. And just don't move on the line up. I'm just going to have to put this camera down again while I do that for you. When you hold this thing, try and hold it at the side or on the top just there. It's quite stable to hold that there. You want to make sure that is securely. So much of a nightmare having to do this with no tripod. I won't ever learn my lesson and buy one, will I? It'll be so much easier. Anyway, that's that. It's pushed down there. So you should end up, well you will end up. Remember that cable is supplied in the box. So now I have connected the connection lead. I don't think it's got its name, has it? Wiring harness, if you want to be technical. So anyway, you connect the wiring harness. Remember, you can't put it on wrong, it'll only go on one way. On there. Now then, you then need to connect this to one of the COM ports. The communication ports. Now then, I use COM1 for the Wintex to connect. That's COM port 1 there. Now I use that to connect the alarm via the USB COM lead to the laptop to program, which of course I'll show you in another video. So for this video I'm going to use COM2 because I already have my programming software set up on COM port 1. So as before, you can't connect the harness the wrong way around because there's that gap again. So you take your harness. Please don't set this on metal without your feet on, by the way. Try and keep that away from your panel. Make sure you've got the little feet on to lift it up because you don't want this touching metal. You certainly don't want any of that on the bottom touching anything metal. That looks like it is painted, etc. It's not bare metal, but still do not take any chances. Keep that well away. So you take the other end of the harness, and I'm going to use COM2. Now I've never tested this, so I hope for God it works on COM port 2, but we will find out. If you refer to the instructions, it just says one of the communication ports, which is COM2 or COM1. It's not saying you have to use COM1, it doesn't say you have to use COM2. And as I already used COM1 for something else, I'm going to plug this onto COM2. Just take that over there and plug it on. Now the instruction book says, I'm presuming that's, well it does, yes. Saying to select engineer mode from your control panel, then remove the lid. You know, obviously you would do that because if you take the lid off without entering your code, that would activate the alarm, because it would pick up a tamper. I would think that somebody's attacking the panel. There's a tamper switch up there. But I'm doing this powered off, so I hope it's going to work. But we will find out. So that's it connected. I've got no power to the panel. It's a brand new panel, running the latest firmware. That might cause a problem. I don't know. We'll find out. I can't see why it would have to be switched on to connect it. As I say, there's the instructions. But I'm going to see if it works with the power switched off. So anyway, we've connected it now. You're also going to need a LAN cable for this. I suppose it's also possible to put a little wireless bridge in the panel, in the control panel, connected to that, and you could make this wireless if you wanted to. I just do not like wireless. Having the Wi-Fi is okay, but for things like your CCTV and alarms, I prefer wired. So that's that connected. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to supply power to the panel. I'm going to connect a LAN cable from there, and that's going to go to the router, and we're going to see what happens. Remember, this is new to me as well. I haven't practiced, I haven't tried this before. I'm doing this as is. Nice little learning experience, isn't it? We'll tidy them cables up at a later day. But anyway, unbox your comip module, connect the harness, put the feet on first. It's probably best if you don't take the seal off the sticky pads just yet, because you want to make sure it works before you start sticking it down. And also remember, if you're using a new panel, you've got all your alarm cables to wire into this yet. So I suggest you don't fit it permanently until you get all the other wires in for your alarm, etc. I have no idea where I'm going to mount this when I come to stick mine down permanently. I don't like the thought of it being there, because obviously that's going to get in the way of all, because all your zones are down there. Maybe it's in there. I don't know. Going to have to decide on that as well, where to mount the comip module. Let me put it on the back there. But anyway, we'll get on with that. Right, so I'll be back in a little while. It's getting a bit late now, but that is the connection stage to the panel. One of the COM ports to your comip module. As I say, when we come back, we'll apply power and we'll see about getting this set up, which hopefully should be straightforward. Used to LAN IP addresses and all that, and obviously I'm going to have this on a different port because I've got loads of cameras and other things in, so I'll show you how to do all that. And yes, join me again soon. Bye for now. Right, hello again YouTubers. This next video is the second part of fitting the Premier Elite comip, which we're going to fit. Well, I'm going to fit today and show you. I have never done this in the past. It's not as if I've practiced on this to make sure the video goes straightforward. This is from scratch, just like you would be starting from scratch as well. So this is completely new to me. never been fitted in the past. Let's see. So anyway, in the previous video I put the legs on the comip. Just take it back out of the box. There it is there. Now I'm going to plug that into COM port 2. Like so. I'm also going to connect the panel to my laptop with this device from Texecom. I'll also do a video on this separately at a later date. Needless to say, it is a lot easier to set up this panel and program it through a laptop or PC rather than faff about doing it through the keyboard, the keypads. So as I explained, I use COM port 1 for this. So we'll plug that into COM port 1. Right, so we have the USB connection connected to the panel. I'm going to connect this to the laptop. Now this is the first time I've had this connected to the laptop. I normally do it through my PC. So that's connected, that's connected. I already have the Wintex software installed on this laptop. As I say, we'll do a separate video just on that software at a later date. Right, so we've got that connected. That's connected, blah blah blah. There's no power to the panel. Let's take a LAN cable. We're going to connect the comip to the router. Let's plug that in there. Right, so that is now connected to the router. Nothing's powered on. So now let's connect the panel to the mains. That lead could have been done with being quite a little bit longer. I'll just put this camera down back in a second just while I plug the panel into the mains. You also know that I like to shoot videos without editing them, so there will be no editing. It goes on as is. Right. So then, the panel has power, and the comip has power. Right, now let's see if we can get the alarm talking to the laptop through the USB connector. We're not, at the moment, I am not connecting to this panel through the internal network. We are connected through the USB connection on COM port 1 to the laptop. Now then, I'm going to have to make a new account. That's busy installing the driver for the panel for the USB. We'll just let that install. Might take a little while. Actually, just while we're waiting for that to install, let's see what this says about this, because it tells you about the lights. Right. Shadows, bugger off. So annoying when you haven't got the correct light. Right, left LED, solid green. Does that mean left and right on there? Must do. Right, so according to the manual, we have a link. Right, I get it. It's two LED. Ignore them LEDs for now, and we're going to concentrate on these two LEDs. So the left LED is solid green, and the right LED is blinking green. That means we have a correct connection to the router. So that is all correctly connected to the router. So that went without a hitch. So COM port 2, harness cable, comip module, LAN cable. Right. The laptop is now ready to go, being installed. Now then, I need to make a new account. I will go into this software, as I say, fully at a later date. This laptop has not been used to connect to this panel before, so I need to make a new account. New account, account reference. I'm just going to call this Elite 88. Add. Now then, where is it? Let's have a look back in there. Panel details, this is where you set your panel up. In fact, I should have done that. This isn't going to work. I should have done that first. Panel details is the Elite 88. Yes. I'm communicating via the onboard communication. Press OK. Right, that did work. Right, now the software and that account has now been configured for this Premier Elite panel. So if we go to the top, let's see if we can connect to the panel via the USB connection. Connect using COM port 1. Remember, COM port 1 is the top one there, COM port 1. So I'm going to tell Wintex, the laptop software, to connect via COM port 1. The COM port specified is not available right now. Why did it do that? Alright, hold on, let's have a look. That's connected. Why is that doing that? This works on the PC. Right, hold on. That is quite annoying. Let's just disconnect the USB. Reconnect. Strange. I am connected to the panel. Why are you doing that? Let's just see. We'll just disconnect the comip module. Right, not available. Shut down the software. very annoying, but as I say, I don't like to do anything without you seeing. Open account, elite. Is that already connected? Let's have a look. No problems there. Premier Elite, right, accounts, edit account. Panel details, Elite 88. Software version. Onboard com. Why is that doing this? Strange. I've got the green light on there, so let's try again. Right, hold on. Connect. Right. So we're looking to set up again. PC com, right. Com 1. Now are you going to let me connect now? Yes, there we go, you see. Something as simple as that. Allow access. Right, so if that happens to you, right, I'll show you again. Right, so it wouldn't connect. Setup. You're not using a modem. As I'm using, remember, in this at the minute we are just connected to the panel via the USB communicator. So I went into PC com and I simply changed it to port 1. Remember that port 1 that I told you I always use? And because I'd never used this software on this laptop, it had to be set to that, so that's fine. Now let's plug the comip module back in, which is connected to my router. So we'll plug that on COM2 where I wanted it to go. Just make sure them pins are lined up. That's connected, that springs back into life. Just let that talk to the router. Right, that's establishing a link. Now then, let's see if the router is picking that up. So we'll go to the router. Great. What's the password on here? Yet again, this is the first time I've connected to the... In fact, I know what the password is. I'm running into these little difficulties because this is the first time I've used the laptop in the new house on my router and on the alarm panel, but I do know what the password is, just remembered. So let's log in to the router. I just want to see what is attached to the router. So at the minute I have the girlfriend's laptop, my PC and the mobile phone. Right, so at the minute the router is not detecting the comip module. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can set. So you go back into the setup Now I want to configure TCP IP. Right, it's got its port. I'm not going to change any of them at the minute. Let's have a quick look. I'm not going to change any of them. Now then, why? Right, here we go. Right, now then, let's have a look. Where is it? So we're now connected to the panel through the WinText software. Now I want to set up that comip module. And where is it? Right, now it should be in this communication options window. Right, I found what I was looking for. We got to enable the communicator. I will not tick that at the minute. Right, comip settings. Let's see, this will let me assign it a local IP address. So we will put this in 192.168.0.15. IP address. Alright, think of your IP address as your address for your router, as in your street address. So you've got your street name and your door number. Well, think of it similar to your router. Your router will have an IP address. Every other device connected to the router will also have an IP address. Okay, so an IP address, a local IP address, I should say, is your address name of every device you have connected to your router. So in my case, I'm going to name this 15 on the end of that. Your numbers might be different, and they might not. The local IP is the port of the texecom panel. The gateway is your router's address. So I already know that my router's address is 192.168.0.1. Now then, the onboard communication device I'm using is the comip module. So select that. That's like that. I'm going to send them numbers I've just put in there, I'm going to send them to the panel. I am connected. Alright, I'm connected to the panel. We'll once again send them to the panel. Yes, I do want to send them details to the panel. Yes. Right, now then, that has been sent to the panel. Now let's see if the router is going to pick that up. It's still not picking that up. Let's just see what happens. 192.168.0.15. We might have to open the firewall settings. No, it doesn't like that. What's the port number? 1001. Let's put the port number on the end. 1001. Alright. I want to assign that static IP address. MAC address of that unit. So I'm going to assign a MAC IP address so it doesn't change. This laptop will, well, the router will keep and reserve that address that I put in earlier just for this IP module. You can find the MAC address on the front of the IP module. 192.168. Right, as you can see, I'm reserving the IP address, what I put into that software, into the Wintex software, for the comip. We'll call that Elite 88. Add. Yes, restart please. Right, we're going to reboot the router. All I'm going to do, I'm not going to do anything behind the scenes, I'm just going to pause this video while this Sky Hub, my router, reboots. Back in a second. Right, I'm back. Just a little go back. It's not actually the onboard digicom. Remember, I'm using COM port 2 for the IP module. So I've now changed COM port 2 to the IP module because that's what I'm using. Remember, I've also give the comip module its own local IP address. I didn't change the local port number. Subnet mask will always be that number. The gateway is the address of your router. So if we go back over to my router, attached devices, and look what we have here. Now I don't know why it's decided to call itself what it's calling itself. I did change that to Premier Elite, remember, I give it its name. So just let's have a look, see if I can change its name. Is there anywhere to change its name in here? Maybe not. But at least that is now connected to my router. Now let's just see, I don't know if there's any on board. Let's just see if we try to connect via that. I'm just trying to log in through here, it may not do anything. Aha! There we go. So look what's happened when I've typed the address bar Internet Explorer. Now we have 192.168.0.15. Now it's important to know that when you type that address in, that will only work when you're connected to your internal network. You cannot access the comip module using that local IP address when you are using an outside internet connection. But I will show you how to do that in a later video. And it'll get a little bit difficult because you're going to need a static IP address, or you're going to need to set up a DYNS account. But anyway, that is now connected via USB and now is connected to my router in the local network. For web page examples, click here. For more information, let's see what happens when we press click here. The virtual online keyboard. I wonder where you get these applications from. But anyway, that is how you connected to your internal network. That is the start. That is that now connected to the network, which now opens up a whole range of different options and functionality. Right, so the next thing to do is to try and get Wintex to connect to the panel through the newly installed comip module. So let's see if this is what you need to do. So you need to go back into the account details, because this software will connect to many panels. Now obviously, to connect to the panel you wanted to connect to, in my case I only have one panel, but if you're an installer you might have hundreds of panels out there in different locations, different people's houses, business premises, etc. So I want to connect to my Elite panel through my home network via the comip module. So we need to go to edit account, panel details. Now then, remember that network address yet again, 192.168.0.15. We'll put that into there. Host port. Now that should be that port number I showed you earlier, 10001. Onboard panel modem type, I don't know which one of them it is. Well, let's just leave it where it is. Okay. Well, let's see if we can connect via network. You see how earlier I connected via COM port 1. Well, it's calling it 10 for some reason. Now let's just see if I can connect via the network. Now then, the way to find out if we are connected. Yes, we are. Now let's just double check. Hang up. So at the moment Wintex is not connected to my panel. Now then, just to show you, let's remove the USB module. So we'll take that out. So now this panel is only connected to the comip module, which in turn is connected to my router. So just to show you, if we try to connect via USB, it won't let us. It's not available because I've unplugged it. Now connect via network. Let's just press the keyboard. And we are in. Now that was quite straightforward. So now the panel is fully connected to my internal local area network. My laptop is also connected wirelessly to the router. So now we know the IP address of the panel. I can access the panel from my wireless connected laptop and my PC, or any other PC or laptop in the house. So that really is it for now for this video. I've shown you how to connect it to your internal network. In one of the next videos I will show you how to access your panel from outside your house. For example, when you are on holiday, when you're in your caravan. Just two examples. When you're at your friend's house. Also, the beauty about this is you can set up your own alarm receiving centre. So in one of my friend's houses, on his PC, I could have his PC monitoring my alarm. Should there be any alerts, they will notify to his house, or they will notify to my laptop if it is connected to the internet from anywhere in the world. The possibilities are endless. So anyway, join me again soon when we will have a look into how to connect to your alarm panel from outside your internal network, which is a little bit trickier because you're going to have an understanding of IP addresses, because the vast majority of people, when your router disconnects, it is assigned an IP address by your internet service provider. Now, if there's a power cut and your router gets disconnected, when it reconnects, it might come back on. Well, there's a high chance it will come back on with a different IP address. Now, there is ways to get around that, either to have a static IP address or a paid for service, or possibly a free service where your router will automatically update its IP address to your chosen company, and instead of having to remember numbers, you get what's basically your own web address. For example, www.homesecurity.com or whatever. So you would type that, for an example, www.homesecurity into your browser. Your chosen company would then know your router's IP address because that has updated itself in the background. But we'll touch on that in a later date. It's a little bit trickier, but not impossible. And those of you who access your CCTV cameras remotely will already have that facility set up, so it should be straightforward to you people, because as I've already explained, we have just added a different and new device to the network. So if you think of this as a security camera in terms of IP addresses, etc., etc. So if you already have cameras that you can access remotely, accessing an alarm panel, well, this texecom range of panels should be very straightforward for you indeed. Anyway, join me again soon and we'll do some more videos. Obviously, because this panel can now talk to the internet, there is a range of apps available for your Apple devices and your Android devices. I already have the Android apps on my mobile phone. I have not tried to connect to the panel yet, but we will do that all in the next video through a mobile phone. And so that should be very interesting. So make sure you join me again in the near distant future. And I hope that any of you with these texecom Premier alarms who are interested in getting your alarm panel connected to the internet and your internal network, you just need the comip module. That will work on the texecom Premier alarms and the texecom Premier Elite. I don't know about any of the other panels, mind, but it will work on the Premier and Premier Elite range. So thanks for watching, and join me again soon. Bye for now.